13 WMAZ Morning starts now.
Today's the day we've been watching all week long. What is our potential for winter weather? I'll let you know coming up.
Plus, Fulton County taking the first step of legal action against former President Donald Trump. How a phone call during the 2020 election could lead to criminal charges.
Knowing that last Christmas, with my children could have been our last together. That's really hard emotionally to swallow.
A Monroe County woman in desperate need of a new liver. Why she says her insurance company is slowing down the process. Well, are you ready for a vacation? Mentally, we may all be, but experts say now is the time to do all the physical planning. How they are predicting travel trends this summer. Good morning. You are looking live over a lovely view of downtown Macon. That makes you want to take a vacation, that's for sure. Time is 6:30 on this Friday, January 21st. I'm Caitlin Heck. Of course, we've been waiting for this day because it's the end of the work week, but also what you said, Courtney, that threat of winter weather.
That's right. Yeah, unfortunately, we are starting the morning cold and misty and very dreary. Not a beautiful start, but it is Friday at least, and a lot of you may be excited about that potential for winter weather. And this morning, models are being a little more aggressive. Don't have time to take you through all of those in this quick forecast, but we will a little bit later in the show. 39 right now in the city of Macon, a breeze building in, so it does feel more like 34 degrees for the start of the day. You'll need those coats. 40 in Warner Robins, 39 in Montezuma, 34 in Thomaston, 45 in Dublin and in Wrightsville, and we're at 40 in Sandersville. Generally mid to upper 30s and low 40s for the start of the day. Factor in the wind, anywhere between 3 to 7. Now, the good news is today is not going to be as windy as it was last time our weather system rolled through, where we saw wind gusts upwards of 35 plus miles per hour. Not going to be the case today. Of course, that will be nice, so we won't have to worry about any power outages, but it is making it feel a little colder this morning, feeling more like the upper 20s and low 30s in a lot of spots. And we will get colder through the day today as that rain and maybe some winter weather rolls through. I'm going to take you through it in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Courtney. Now to 3 things you should know this morning. A driver does not face any charges right now after a deadly accident in Macon on Tuesday. Bibb deputies say the driver of a Hyundai Accent and a Ford Taurus collided at the intersection of Riley and Ridge Avenues. Both drivers went to the hospital. The driver of the Hyundai, 37-year-old Shanika Hughes, died from her injuries the next day. The other driver is back home and should be okay. Bibb deputies say they are continuing to investigate how that collision happened. Well, drivers will soon see pedestrian safety upgrades on Old Clinton Road in Macon. That's according to Macon Bibb Commissioner Elaine Lucas. She sponsored a new ordinance that passed this week. Irene's Law honors Irene Stubbs, who died last year in an accident on Old Clinton Road. Lucas says the improvements include more lighting and sidewalks. She says commissioners are also considering bids for future projects like areas around schools. And a federal appeals court decided the Butts County Sheriff cannot place warning signs in the yards of registered sex offenders on Halloween night. We first told you about this story back in 2019. Sheriff Gary Long placed the signs outside of the homes of 3 men. The men filed a lawsuit. The U.S. Court of Appeals in Atlanta said Long violated their First Amendment rights by posting signs on their property without their consent. The federal judges wrote the 3 men have all been rehabilitated and lead productive lives. In state news, Fulton County is now moving forward with an investigation against former President Donald Trump. The county's district attorney, Fonnie Willis, requested a grand jury on the matter. She's hoping it will get witnesses to talk as she investigates whether the former president criminally interfered with Georgia's 2020 election. We're told the grand jury will convene this spring. It will investigate the phone call Trump made more than a year ago with Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger.
I just want to find 11,780 votes, which is one more than we have, because we won the state.
That was the margin in which Trump lost Georgia in the election. The grand jury will not return an indictment, but will recommend whether or not to press charges. Former President Trump released a statement yesterday saying that he had said nothing wrong in the phone call and wanted to look into the massive voter fraud which took place in Georgia. There has been no evidence to support the president's claim. Well, over $70 million in infrastructure funding is on its way to the Peach State. Representative Lucy McBath announced the new round of funding this week, saying it would go to a wide range of infrastructure projects through the Army Corps of Engineers. $48 million will go toward the Savannah Harbor expansion. The rest of that funding will go toward fixing bridges and dams across the state. And right now, $354 million is available to Georgia homeowners to help people pay their mortgages and utilities. It's part of a program to help those impacted by the pandemic. The money comes from federal funding. As part of a small pilot program, homeowners got about $15,000 each. We have details on how you can apply right now on 13WMAZ.com. Moving on to the latest on COVID-19, Georgia is showing signs of a steady decline when it comes to new COVID cases. Wednesday, the Georgia Department of Public Health added at least 22,000 to our total case count. Georgia is also seeing lower COVID patient numbers each day. As of yesterday, about 5,200 people with the virus were hospitalized. Now, people in Houston County seeking Regeneron therapy for COVID-19 will have to look elsewhere. Houston Healthcare says their Regeneron therapy clinic is closed until further notice. They say it's because of a lack of medication supply from the federal government's allocation program. The Regeneron therapy is an antibody treatment, and health experts say it reduces the risk of hospitalization or death by 70%. Well, to help our heroes on the front lines, the Biden administration is giving $103 million to healthcare workers. The money from the American Rescue Plan aims to promote mental health awareness and to fight burnout. Roughly $28 million will go toward establishing, improving, or expanding programs to promote mental health and well-being. Another $68 million will go toward tailored training development within the health profession. The last $6 million goes to George Washington University for the Health and Public Safety Workforce Resiliency Technical Assistance Center. In other health news this morning, a new liver could help save a Monroe County woman's life, but her Texas-based insurance company says they won't pay for the procedure unless she jumps through a big hoop.
I feel like a ticking time bomb, honestly, because it can metastasize at any point in time, and it's not treatable by a liver transplant at that point.
Doctors diagnosed 32-year-old Erica Gitaturi with bile duct cancer last August. They say she needs a new liver, and without one, she has 6 to 12 more months to live. Gitaturi medically qualified for the transplant list at Emory University Hospital, but financially she was denied. Her insurance provider, Zachary Group, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Texas, refuses to cover the surgery unless it takes place at what they call a Blue Distinction Center. Georgia doesn't have one, and Gitaturi says she wasn't aware of those specifics before qualifying. The closest approved center is in Jacksonville, Florida, at the Mayo Clinic, which is about 5.5 hours away. So now she has to start the qualifying process all over again. Her brother-in-law, Jonathan Pless, says it has been a frustrating process.
There's been a lot of ups and downs. There's been good days and bad days, and we still have in the back of our mind, maybe Zachary will have some compassion and relent and do the right thing.
Well, there's no guarantee she'll pass the pre-transplant requirements in Florida like she did in Georgia, but if she does, it'll be a few weeks before doctors place her on the transplant wait list. Then she'll need to match with an organ donor. We reached out to Zachary Group and Blue Cross Blue Shield of Texas. Zachary Group sent us a statement writing in part, the health and well-being of our employees and their families are our top priorities. When healthcare needs arise, we work diligently with our members to provide support and information regarding coverage. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Texas told us in part, quote, out of respect for our members' privacy, we do not comment on individual member situations. Coverage decisions are based on sound clinical research. And you can read their full statements right now on 13WMAZ.com. The Carl Vinson VA Medical Center in Dublin is making plans for a new primary care and women's health clinic. The building should cost between $16 and $17 million and will be part of the main campus. It will also serve as the headquarters of their rapidly growing women's health clinic. The center will have 100 parking spaces and should be done by next April. All right, the time is now 6:39. Of course, the big story of today is what we're going to see as we go into tonight.
Yes, and the models as of this morning have become a little more aggressive when it comes to our winter weather chance. And I was saying it earlier this morning. I walked in, first thing I did was look at what the models were saying this morning, and I really just wanted to put my head down on the desk and say, you know what it is at this point.
They're just trying to keep you on your toes.
Yeah, and I appreciate it. I guess, to some extent.
In a way,
in
but
a
not.
way, but yeah, not. So we're going to take you through what the models are saying this morning. Yes, we are kind of upping the ante a little bit as not only our high resolution models, but some of our global models, those being the Euro and the GFS that we've showed you long range, those are even starting to come in tune with our higher resolution models. Right now, what you're looking at is our setup. We have a wedge that is building in. That's thanks to that area of high pressure off to the northeast. So what's happening? That cold air getting wrapped around it. This morning, as you're heading out the door, temperatures are generally in the mid to upper 30s. Some of us are in the 40s, but it's cold. And it's also cloudy. This front is trapping in moisture. And what the wedge can do sometimes is offer a bit of a misty feel. So overall, what I'm getting at, it's dreary out there this morning. Bundle up because temperatures as we go through the day are actually going to get colder. This is about the warmest we're going to get, with the exception of maybe a degree or two warmer. But through the afternoon, when we're normally heating up, we're going to be cooling down. 39 in Macon, 40 in Warner Robins. We're at 37 in Butler, 41 in Unadilla, 45 in Wrightsville, 39 in Sandersville, and 35 up in Monticello. Let's talk about the rain because that is what everyone wants to know. Is it going to be more than rain? We're going to take you through the high resolution model. Just like its namesake, it is our highest resolution model that we have. Front to our south, that low that we've been watching the progress on because that was going to dictate where the winter weather was going to set up, who was going to get most of the rain. That is parked next to the Carolinas, who is receiving rain and winter weather this morning. And as we go through the day, we'll have a chilly rain roll in, especially as we head into the afternoon hours. Here's Friday at 3 o'clock. Notice that changeover along the coast, closer to that low. The air is, of course, naturally cooler up towards the Carolinas. Here at home, a cold rain as we head towards 3, and then 5 o'clock. That's when we could start to get some of that changeover into a wintry mix. But take a look at this. This is the big change that just made me want to put my head down at my desk, call it a day. Take a look at how the models progress as we head towards 7 o'clock. Maybe turning into some sort of flurry action as we head into the late evening. Now, at this point, temperatures are more than likely going to be at or below freezing, so I'm not totally discounting this. I think this is a little bit too aggressive, but what I think the general consensus is going to be today, if you're north and east of Macon, expect a chance for wintry mix, maybe a few flurries scattered in there as well. That will be possible. Now, keep in mind as well, because of the timing of this rain, exiting so late, temperatures dropping so quickly, there could be some patchy ice on the roads if you are north and east of Macon and counties north and east of Macon as we head into tonight. So we'll take you through the graph model. This is the one we've been showing you for the past few days that did very well with our last winter weather situation. As we go through the day, rain will be possible, especially through the afternoon. Temperatures now dropping in some spots into the low to mid 30s by 3 o'clock, so that changeover is starting to happen. And as we head into 8 o'clock tonight, notice maybe a few flurries in some of our northern counties. Otherwise, that wintry mix still possible through the late evening. And then as we head towards the overnight hours, here's 1 o'clock in the morning, we'll start to get all of that precipitation to start to leave. Either way, again, with that late timing, patchy ice will be possible on the roads in some of our eastern counties through the night, especially those bridges and overpasses that have that higher elevation. So here's the headlines. Wintry mix possible starting this afternoon, maybe a few flurries as well north and east of Macon, and then of course that patchy ice possible east of Macon. We're not expecting any kind of accumulation of ice or snow or anything like that, but still that ice on the roads will be possible. It'll be dry through the weekend and cold. Our next rain chance beyond today will be next Tuesday.